Good afternoon. I'm Simon Sporter, and I'm very pleased to say I've got Zane Cheeseman with me this afternoon of Hot Shots Tennis. He was the development coach of the year, both at our county level and regional level, and then won the runner-up position at the national level. So well done, Zane, and
Thank you very much.
welcome to our video today.
How you doing?
Thanks for joining us. So tell me a bit about your background and how did you get into tennis?
So my background, so I started tennis when I was 4 years old. Just got kind of dragged around with my older brother to different tennis tournaments and kind of got given a racket. Played to kind of national, county national level. At the age of 16, kind of didn't want to carry on at school and decided to start coaching, do a bit to earn a bit of money on the side. Did an apprenticeship. So then started coaching, did my qualifications. And then actually went into a head coach's role when I was about 20. So I was quite young when I went into that. Kind of learnt my trade, did my level 4, did my level 5. And then decided to set up my business, Hot Shots, which I set up in 2015. And the idea behind that was just to get more people playing, like get more people on the court and playing, because I've got a passion for tennis. I still play tennis myself. And actually wanted to support kind of different coaches as well with the knowledge that I've got. So that's kind of, so now I've got it to a position where Hot Shots we're running 7 venues, kind of 18 schools, and it's got it into such a good kind of place really. But it kind of comes from my passion for the sport. Like, I love the sport, I play the sport. It's a hobby to me. Like, my hobby is playing tennis, but it's also my job. So amazing. I think that's kind of where it comes from.
And how come you got nominated? What do you think you really did to get that nomination and to be so successful?
I think the passion, I always use that as the thing. Like, I'm passionate about tennis. I think the nomination came from the fact that I get a lot of people playing tennis. Yeah, we've got a lot of people. I've got coaches around me. So I've got about 30 or 40 coaches that kind of work within my team, from level kind of like tennis leaders right up to level kind of 3 and 4 coaches. So I've worked a lot with them to help them progress through their development. We've then worked with schools, like 18 schools that I've said that we work with, to get them kind of having after school clubs, camps. I think 3 of the 7 venues that we run coaching at have won the county awards as well, like the county club awards.
Yes.
I think the passion mixed with just getting people on the court playing. Do you know what I mean? This is a great sport. And my point is if someone can try it and kind of have a go at it, they might get that passion that I have. But if you never have a go at it, you may never know. And that's how I kind of look at it.
And do you focus, so you're doing schools, you're doing clubs, do you focus on group sessions at sort of at a lower level, or is it all the way through to kind of potential county players? And then you're also doing some adult sessions and potentially veteran sessions and private sessions. Is it across the whole piece?
Yeah, so it is pretty much everything. Yeah, so we'd start from kind of like the mini reds, so like the 3, like the tots of 3 and 4 year olds, right up to kind of like, I think the oldest players we teach about 82, 83. And they play, and then we have kind of recreational, so beginners right up to team players. Yeah, so team players. I would say we're definitely more recreational than we are kind of performance. But when you've got so many players coming into your program, you've got a few that come through that are of a higher level. We also work quite a lot more now with disability as well, so a bit more inclusive. That's one of the biggest things that we've kind of been.
I was going to come on to that, yes.
Yeah, that's one of the biggest things we've tried to implement over the last year. So I've done personally a lot of wheelchair tennis, like I've taught a lot of that. But obviously we know wheelchair tennis is only a small portion of inclusion in tennis. So more recently we've been working with, I think 3, maybe 4 SEN schools, where either we go into those schools or they bring the children to our club. And then most recently, within the last month, we've actually set up tennis for people suffering with Parkinson's.
Right.
And also set up a session for people with more like learning difficulties or multiple disabilities, which we worked with Sense and the LTA, which it's been, that's really, and I mean, that's great, but it's all the same. It's all the same thing, giving people the chance to do it. Do you know what I mean? Have a go at it, whether it is your 4-year-old, your 80-year-old, or someone who has got kind of like disabilities. It's them having them chance to have a go at it.
So with those programs, have you ever tried, for example, the visually impaired side of it? Have you ever done the hearing?
So we've all done training. So all the coaches have had training, multiple training on all those areas. Funny enough, I was at the National Tennis Centre recently and got to watch a visually impaired tennis tournament. And it was quite interesting to watch. I've done so much training on it, but we haven't done much kind of actual coaching of it. So actually to see a tournament played at a venue was unbelievable. I've never seen anything like it. But no, from a personal point of view, we haven't actually. But as I said, we're kind of pushing more into the inclusion area. So we're hopefully over time, once the word spreads and we're doing more, hopefully we can bring that in and do more on that. But yeah, all the coaches are trained up in it, which is great.
Okay, because for some of the older players, and I recently did a video on walking tennis. So for older players or players who are potentially struggling with Parkinson's, walking tennis is another very good option.
Yep, definitely. And that's the sort of thing we're doing. So with the Parkinson's that we've done, it's quite interesting. When we first did it, you kind of think like they're not going to be able to play tennis or they haven't done it. But actually quite a few of the people there are people that have played tennis before they started, like the disease had been diagnosed. So walking tennis is perfect, not just for people with Parkinson's, but just for people that have played the sport, got to a certain age, still want to play it, but actually can't move around the court as much. So I just think it means if we can keep more people in the sport for longer, I think it's better. I mean, it's one of the few sports where you can play it, like you could have your grandma, you could have your mum, and you all play it at the same time, where the other sports, I'm not sure you could quite do that in many other sports.
And I believe you've got a parks program running as well.
Yeah, so we do. So we've just taken on, so it's a community site. So we've got one of our sites, which is Paddock Wood Community Centre, which is a park site, and we've applied just for another one in Tunbridge Wells at the moment. That's where we're running. Actually, funny enough, the Paddock Wood is where we're running all the SCN kind of like the inclusion sessions there. And our goal is to really build on that. So they've got 2 nice courts. They've got a nice little hall that we generally do all the SCN stuff in there at the moment because it just means it can guarantee and run. So our goal is to build on that. Most of our background has been generally working with clubs. So it's quite nice to kind of move into parks and kind of try and see if we can get more people involved with it playing. So.
And how do you, because I know you do, obviously you're working as a professional to earn money and have a career, but how do you split your time and how do you achieve the voluntary sides to what you do and also encourage the coaches who you work with to also give something back to tennis and to their broader and wider community, to look at it more than just, you're doing this for a couple of years, this is a career, and you need to build up goodwill throughout the community?
Just be strict with your diary. This is one of my biggest things that I say to all my coaches is like, look, I love working with the coaches. Don't get me wrong. I love being on court, working with people, but like taking that little bit of time out to kind of spend time with them. I think it's good for them to see me kind of being on court with them and supporting them with their problems. One of the big things for me when I coached, when I was very young, because I started coaching when I was 16, is I don't think I got as much support. I had like my mentors, my main coaches, but I don't think I was able to have someone with me on court supporting me. So yeah, being good with your diary, making sure. So I've set days where I'm free, where I can go and see the coaches or meet with the coaches. What I kind of thrive on is like, if you're successful, it's actually what you do off court. Like you do loads on court and people will like you on court, but if you spend those 5-10 minutes with people and chat to people and take the time to do little things with people remember that. Do you know what I mean? It's and I think too many people, it's like you can turn up, coach, go home. Do you know what I mean? But actually spending time talking to people and getting to know them and doing those things. And that's what I do with my coaches. That's what I do with the pupils. And it's kind of trying to use yourself as a bit of a role model. Like if they see me doing it, then you're more likely to do it, aren't you? So
again, reaching out into the community. Is that one of the bedrocks to what you try and achieve?
Definitely. Yeah, definitely. Like I want, like when you're in your when you go into a new club or anything like that, one of the big things is we want to look at the local community and kind of get them down and run loads of free. Like we love doing like open days and free days where they can come down and just see the courts, have a go at it, use the rackets and get them on the court. It doesn't have to be, people can sometimes see tennis as quite, you have to be a certain type of person to play tennis and have a certain wealth. And I don't think that's true. Like, for my opinion is that come down, have a go at it. You like it, it's affordable, it's doable. And there's ways of doing it. And I think, yeah, that's the big thing for me. Getting as many people on the court locally is the key to success.
Great. And tell me, you obviously have been successful with the awards. I'm sure you enjoyed the experience, county, regional, and hopefully you went down to Roehampton as well for the national awards. Why would you encourage others to nominate sort of people in their clubs and people who they think have gone above and beyond in tennis and paddle now, obviously? What would be your reasoning?
My reasoning would be, I think it was a great experience. First of all, I'd like to say what I went through. It's amazing what they put on at the county, regional, and nationals. It's an amazing thing. It's a bit like, I classed it as a bit like the Oscars. It was way more than I was ever expecting with it. I think from a personal point of view, for any coaches out there or people in different fields about nominating clubs or individuals and people, like it's just the reward for the hard work people are putting in. That's how I looked at it. It's like, I work hard and I will always work hard, but just having that little time where people kind of reward yourself and listening to the things you've actually done. Do you know what I mean? And how you do. And I just think it's nice. Like, we don't always hear it from coaches. Do you know what I mean? And I think from clubs and everything, because there's multiple awards that you can be nominated for. But being around all those people that were nominated, but they were all amazing people, and I got to meet them and chat to them, and I got their numbers and stuff, and you create contacts for life. But for me, yeah, nominating people, it gives you a little buzz from that you're doing something right. You must be doing something right. So
thank you very much, Zane. Well done, and keep it going and keep growing and enjoying the passion of what you do. And thanks for joining us today.
No, thank you very much, Simon. Thank you.